Hi everyone, my name is Kiran Roberts. I'm a psychology student based in Ipswich and probably in community with many of you. And I just want to give some wisdom and some affirmation for you today, because we both know that oftentimes the work that you do, whether you're a teacher or a caseworker or a youth worker, it's thankless. And you can feel like a cog in a system where you're pushing kids along and you're pushing them down the conveyor belt of life, and it can often feel fruitless. It can feel like you're just another part of the system. But I want to affirm the fact that you are so much more than that. And in the grand scheme of things, you are one of the most important parts of these people's lives. One of the most important parts. And speaking for myself, I come from a pretty privileged background. I have both my parents, they're both educated, I'm well off. But there was a period of my life when I was young where I went through this stage of rebellion. Like, I was hanging out with kids and throwing bricks at police cars. I went through this rough period of not knowing who I was and suffering from identity crisis and being around real rough people. But I can tell you for a fact it was my teachers and my mentors when I was young who looked at me and saw not what I was but what I could be that really shaped my future. Because you are more than a person in a factory pushing a kid along a conveyor belt. You are a gardener. And the beauty of the gardener is that oftentimes the gardener will be there for the beginnings but not for the end. And trees take a long time to grow. There's no way that every gardener can be there for every tree growing. So you can plant a seed, water it, tender it, it grows into a young sapling. It even may grow into a small tree, and then you leave and then you never get thanked for what you do. Maybe you never even see the results or the effects of what you do, so it feels like a constant thankless job. Like, am I doing meaningful work? Am I doing good work? Does this mean anything at all? But I promise you that if you see yourself as a gardener, if you start to change your perspective and your view of yourself, not as a factory worker, but as a gardener planting seeds, you will start to realize that your impact is the most important part of the journey of a kid's life. The most important part. Why? Because often the seeds that you are planting are seeds that they don't even know about. The people that watered the seeds in my life, I couldn't see the seeds. I was young, I was confused, I was immature. I didn't know I had gifts. I didn't know I had talents necessarily. I wasn't one of the kids at the top of the class who just knew that I was meant to be a doctor or an athlete. It was part of the confusion, it was part of the struggle. And I've had friends from broken families, friends from low socioeconomic backgrounds who struggle with the exact same thing. And the difference wasn't the people pushing them on the conveyor belt, but the people that said, I see something in you, even if you can't see it, and I'm gonna water it. I'm gonna affirm it. I'm gonna breathe life into it and give you the tools to expand it and grow and crack that seed open and pour water on it and watch it grow. And the reality is that kid may grow and move and life happens. You may change jobs and you never see it. But I want to affirm the fact that your job means something, whatever it is. A teacher, caseworker, a parent, a sibling. The watering of seeds in the kid's life, I believe, is one of the most pivotal and foundational parts of how we tender to the youth of our society. It's when those seeds aren't tended that feelings of worthlessness start to arise. I'm worthless. I'm good for nothing. And stories begin to manifest in our heads. And I mean, as a psychology student, that's the work that we see in adults. That's the struggle we see in adults of unwriting the stories that we tell ourselves. Adults come into therapy and they have stories that they've told themselves since youth. The adults who are grounded, who are successful, who have confidence, who realize the potential, are often the ones who had mentors in their lives like you, who poured water on seeds, cracked them open and watched them grow. And years after they did that, years after, maybe they've even forgotten about who did that, they see the fruits. I'm now 27 and now finding my calling in psychology, only now finding my calling. But if it wasn't for the people in high school, in primary school, who watered those seeds, who saw potential within me, who affirmed me when I was down, who created this sense of identity for me, I would be nothing. I promise you I'd be another cog in the system. You are not a factory worker. Don't see yourself like that. Even if you're a caseworker with 96 cases and you're struggling to get it done and you can only talk to a case like a week and you get 10 minutes with this kid, Value those 10 minutes. They mean everything to them. I promise you. I've talked to these kids. They mean everything. And your little affirmations, your smile of kindness. Maybe you're the first person to smile into their life, and just by your body expressions, they're like, man, this person cares. Maybe I am worth something. It means so much. What you do may be thankless, but I promise you, those seeds turn into trees, and those trees change the world. And whether it's now or in the life after, who knows, you will be thanked. I promise you. By lives that are changed, just know that you will be thanked. I thank, whether in spirit or by voice, the people that impacted my life. I thank the gardeners who took time to water the seeds and break them open. I thank them. I honour them with the life I live now. And that's you. Be affirmed by that. When you're feeling down, understand that you are more than a cog in the machine. Even if the system is a factory, you can be a gardener. Remember that. Even if the system is a factory and it's built in a certain way, you can be a gardener with the 10 minutes of time you have with each person. May you be blessed. May you see yourself as more. May you change your perspective on who you are, and may you be affirmed that despite the fact that this is a thankless job more often than not, you are worthy and your work is worthy if you start to water the seeds. Bless you.